This episode is sponsored by Where to Shop and Dine. Download the app on Google Play Store or Apple App Store today. Connecting colleges and communities. Welcome back. You're watching Scene TV, and I'm Maya McNulty, your host, Schenectady Cable Entertainment News and Events. Welcome to Steve Erby. He is the president of Monolith.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, welcome to the studio. So Monolith Solar, big buzz happening up here in the upstate region. Tell us a little bit about Monolith, and then tell us a little bit about your story, Steve.
Sure. Well, we started in my garage about 9 years ago. It all started out of frustration with the utility, and my utility bill, as most people can sympathize with, just kept growing and growing and growing, and as much as I tried to make it shrink, it kept growing. So out of frustration, I started studying wind energy, and then that evolved to geothermal. At the same time, I was working as an engineer for the railroad. And then it evolved eventually to solar. And I registered at Hudson Valley, took a class, got certified, and put the system up on my home. And it's an energy bug that just bites you. And
did you create this solar panel?
No, we actually installed the solar panels, and there was no one local. I didn't know anyone that had solar at the time. So I rented a U-Haul truck and drove to Long Island and purchased the system for my home. And I still remember it to this day because it was very expensive back then, and I was writing checks and handing her credit cards, and I'm like, well, maybe you can put this on here. And that was our very first system. So that was 9 years ago. We had no intention of starting a company, just to do our home. And then I actually met my business partner at Hudson Valley Community College, and we decided to make a go of a business of this. We figured there were plenty of people in the capital region that felt the same way we did in regards to their energy consumption. As we progressed through the years, our knowledge has grown, and there's so many benefits to it, whether we're doing it for the environment, whether we're doing it to keep our fossil fuels. There's just so many things that once it bites you, you're in. And so I hope that tells a little bit about our beginnings. Our very first job was Union College, who called us and basically said they couldn't find anyone else authorized to install solar. So we have a system on top of their science building, which is not too far from here. So
yeah, very cool. So yes, everyone wants to save money on their utility. I myself would love to do that. Why solar? Why is the trend towards solar so important?
Sure. So we know that the sun is creating enough power to power this entire planet. We just have to harness that power. So solar is a way to do it that is emitting very, very low, if any, fossil damage to the environment. You can put it on your roof, and it's kind of like set it and forget it. Every day it's going to wake up, it's going to produce power for your home. And it's, like I said, it's such a feel-good thing. You know that in the summer when it's 90 outside, you can crank your AC because your solar is working so much more efficiently in those days. So
yeah. So what is it doing exactly? Because I'm new to this and I'm not understanding it. Does it harvest the sun and store it, and when you're ready to use?
So you're getting the photon effect, which is basically the sun is hitting the module. That energy is created in direct current, which we run through an inverter to make AC, which we all consume. And then that power is burned immediately in your home. If you're not burning it, let's say you're at work that day, you're spinning your meter backwards. So your neighbors, the people across the street or down the road are all burning your solar power. So you're actually converting your neighborhood. And it's a pretty neat thing. So you're creating credits on your meter. So when you come home at night and turn the switch on, you actually start consuming those credits. So there's no actual batteries. Your neighbors are the batteries.
Okay. And what's different between, I mean, I kind of know what's different between solar and wind, but why is one more efficient than the other?
Sure, it's a great question. So wind is an awesome source of power, and it's one of my first loves, if you will. but it's very inconsistent. You don't know when we're going to have enough power coming from it. But there's also a lot of old laws on the books in regards to height restrictions in communities. So very, very hard to get a windmill approved for your, let's say, colony residents. They're just not going to let you put up a windmill. Now there are different types. So like you see, Union College has some vertical axis windmills, which don't need the height of the old conventional style. But we still haven't perfected the bearings. And until that day comes around, wind energy is just not feasible for the average homeowner. So.
And talk about the environment and what you're doing to actually improve it, the environment with the green energy,
Sure.
with the emissions.
Sure, so our salespeople can run through exactly how much a home is burning and how many trees we're saving in regards to the emissions that we would use with coal or with any other type of energy source. It is pretty significant, and it's a really great thing. Like I was saying, that all the monitoring now, you can see the production from your system, but you can also see the fossils avoided, or the fossil fuel avoided. So it's pretty neat. It's the technology today has made it so user interactive, if you will. So it's kind of cool.
Great. And is your product made in the USA?
Most of the products are assembled in the USA, so they can qualify nowadays. So you'll see some coming in from Canada. You'll see Mexico has a lot of production going on right now. Congress basically had an import tariff, I think in 2013 or 2012. So you see less and less coming in from overseas. Doesn't mean the ownership is not international. So, we have the Buffalo plant is hopefully going to go live. I'm predicting guesting within a year or two, which we will actually have modules not only made in the USA, but hopefully made in New York, which is that would be really cool. If we could go to Buffalo and bring all our panels right from there.
Yeah,
so.
Neat. So maybe the Buffalo Bills, the stadium, will be powered by Monolith.
I hope so. Yeah.
So let's talk about commercial
I'm
and
a
then
Jets
residential.
but we
I'm a
love
Minnesota
Buffalo,
Vikings fan, so that's
nice.
completely different. But let's talk about, so the commercial end of it is, do you service both the commercial
Sure.
and the residential? And
We
talk
do.
about the efficiencies on that as well. You've made a bold statement where, I think I saw it on your website, of saving a consumer up to 50%. Is
Sure.
this true?
Well, it all depends on residential. We can completely take your bill out. So like my bill now is $17 a month. When we started this, it was $275 a month. So it all depends on how much you're consuming in a residential. We can, but it's really a zero cost, because that money you were sending to the utility, you now pay to the bank to pay off your system. Once you pay it off, now you don't pay anyone. You pay the connection fee to the grid. So in truth, we can take away the whole bill except for that connection fee. For commercial entities, like say today we're building a system for the Colony School District. We're actually building it in Saratoga. So from Saratoga, they will power a school district in Albany, which I love, because we want to spark the interest in the next generation.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
hoping that some 12-year-old is going to figure out, hey, we can do it like this.
You're probably right.
And they're so much smarter than I was at their age. These
Well, they have a
things
lot of opportunities
Yes.
that come to them. Absolutely. So great. That is really important for us to know on the consumption end. Let's talk about the efficiency, and we just mentioned about the savings. And you're taking that money and you're paying into your systems again. What happens about the depreciation of the home per se, or the roof, or the system itself depreciates, or if one of the what do you call them? The grids
Sure.
break or something like that. How do you?
So the maintenance is relatively easy, because you have module level production, you can see. So there is no maintenance. There's nothing for you to do. It's solid state technology. There's no moving parts. As far as the value of your home, if you purchase the system, you're going to increase the value. If you go with a company where you're just leasing the system, you're actually tying a burden to your home, because the next person that comes in has to agree to the same contract terms as you did.
Okay.
So anytime you're dealing with your home, there's nothing in our homes that we lease. We don't lease our bathroom showers. We don't lease the closets. We buy it. I'm just a firm believer that you should never lease anything on your home.
Okay.
Because
so that's a great tip, because most people, you know, they wouldn't know what to do.
Right, and it sounds like a great deal because
yeah.
they say we'll come and install it for free, and you just pay us a monthly fee, which will be lower than the utility. It sounds great, but the truth is most Americans live in their home somewhere between 7 and 12 years, and you're going to have to sell it with that easement attached, so it could make it difficult to sell.
Yeah, so you thought of Monolith in your garage, and you fast
Correct.
forward here now to 2017, so it's been about 7 years, 7 or 9 years.
Yeah.
And why are you so passionate about solar, and do you see growth in this market?
Sure. You know, the passion is something I could never explain. It's getting up out of bed and you just cannot wait to do what it is you do. It's something that we need to do. As you know, as human beings on this planet, we can see our effects. We know now that you don't change the oil in your car and take the oil out into the backyard and dump it. Well, 20 years ago, we really didn't know that, or we didn't appreciate the damage that it would do. So as humans, we gained so much knowledge over time, and we see how much has occurred just in our lifetime. It's important that we don't drain the fossil fuels that are here, and we can see the instantaneous effects. I know there's a lot of fans of fracking, but we see what's happening in states like Oklahoma, and you know, it's just, if we can do it in a nicer, gentler way. You and I are here for a very short time, and if we can pass this on to our kids, the next generation, a little better, and it didn't really cost us anything to do it, why not?
Yeah, so leads me to the question, what makes Monolith unique?
Sure.
Because there's competition in your space.
Sure.
I'm not going to list them all, but there's competition in your space. So what makes you unique?
We were very lucky in that when we started out, there was no competition. There was one other company that's no longer around, but we were very fortunate, and we have a very solid customer base. So we power your firehouses, your police stations, your communities. And that's very important, because if you put something on your home, you want to make sure the company that installs it is going to be here in 20 years. Let's say you need the inverters serviced. You want to make sure that that company's still around to service that. But also, customer satisfaction is huge to us. And we go so far as to occasionally we lose money, probably more often than we should. But it's very important, because I want you to tell your neighbors, and I want them to tell their friends. And we've grown this business 100% by referrals. So we take that extra step. We make sure that we go the distance to make sure they're happy. And it's not always, I get yelled at a lot for going sometimes a little too far, but it's very, very important to us. So
that's great. I like your company culture. Let's talk about your employees and your staff. And I know behind you there's a great team. So explain the training and the background check, because you're sending, whether it be for commercial or for residential, people have to do free consultations or to work on a roof, to put a job down. So speak on that, the extensive training that you go through.
In the beginning we were 5 people in the garage, and we had family coming in and things of that nature, so it was easy to, you knew this person. As we grow, we're about 100 and I believe 35 people strong. You don't always know everyone, so that's it's a little harder. But we make sure that we do extensive background checks. But we accept a lot of referrals from employees that are trusted employees, and that seems to have been an amazing thing for us. And recently we had 2,000 applicants apply for 66 jobs.
Wow.
So that was a great benefit for us, because we got to go through so many, and we met so many awesome people. We were literally interviewing every 15 minutes. And I wish we could have hired 1,000, because there were way more.
Well, you'll get there.
way more people than we could actually take on. So I'd say, the one thing that they all have and is passion. And a new employee come on the other day, and she said to me, she said, I went out and I met all the guys in the field, and she said, every single person was excited to be there.
Yeah, they
She
love
said,
what they're doing.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's important because you don't want someone to show up on your house that's just here, hey, I got to be done by 3 o'clock and I don't care what it takes.
Right.
And, these guys take a lot of pride. They compete against each other to get the highest scores, and that's very important to us.
Well, it's also, you know, it's an American dream to own a home, and when
Yes.
you're improving it and then someone's taking ownership and to help you increase your value, you feel more pride.
Right.
So that's a great thing. The safety training that you do, speak on that.
Sure. So we actually do about a week off-site. We work on SUNY campus, which is a project that we built for them. And they let us take it down, put it up, take it down, put it up, which is really great because it gives the guys a chance to practice without being elevated on a roof. So we also do, we're working with Hudson Valley to do some training. We make sure that they're OSHA qualified, a minimum of 10 hours, and they work their way up to 40. But training is never over. I think every day we're learning and we're teaching, and even myself. So I don't think training is a set course, but it's every day. So
Okay.
it's pretty cool.
Well, that's good and that's important. I want to talk about, I think that people are really excited about the tax benefits
Sure.
of solar and the renewable energy. Are there warranties that you offer with your systems? Speak on that.
Sure. So the tax discounts are, you know, they're out there, but it's like anything. You should take advantage now because as more and more people take advantage, there'll be less of those incentives to split up.
Right. Supply and demand.
Yes. And then the warranties are really great. You know, it's solid state technology, so if you're going to have a failure, it's going to be in year one. So they give a 25-year warranty on most of the modules. The inverters are typically 5 and 10 years. They always try to sell you the upgrade. We personally don't sell those. We don't ask people to buy the warranty package because in 10 years you're going to have a new product that's going to be even better. So why come and fix that one when we can put a new one up? Usually their lifespan is about 15 years for the inverters. So the warranties are basically set it and forget it, and you can access it via your phone, your laptop. You can have it as your screensaver. So it will email us if it stops working for any reason. Let's say you have a power outage in the neighborhood. The system is actually going to shut down because we don't want to hurt the lineman when he comes to work. Your system will email us and tell us, hey, I'm not working.
Wow, it sounds like an impressive system.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we
yeah.
hook it into your Wi-Fi so that it can communicate to you as well as us, and you can make it private so that we can't see, but it's easier if the system calls us. A little more efficient. We can dispatch a team, call you up, say, hey, we're going to have a couple guys come over. Very rare that it happens, but that technology is there.
Yeah, it's like a home security system in a way.
Right,
So it
and
connects with you.
and there's no charge because it's just hooked into your Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So along with increasing your home value from solar energy, you're also getting a sales rebate, warranties, and tax incentives. So why wouldn't someone purchase solar?
It's, you know, I've been asking myself that question for about 8 years, and more and more people are coming on board. In the beginning, it was, you know, people, it was kind of like they were from Missouri. It was the show me state, if you will. And I think that everyone sees it now, and it's so easy for us to say, here was Mr. Brown's bill before solar, here's his energy bill after. And all the evidence is there, so if anyone's still waiting on the technology to improve,
Where are you located?
over.
So perhaps they can come by and maybe take a tour of your facility
Sure.
and experience a solar
We'd love
panel?
to. We're right in Rensselaer, New York, Washington Street, and we're actually in between Amtrak and Dunkin' Donuts. So real easy to find us. If you go into Dunkin' Donuts to get a coffee, we share the same parking lot. So it's real easy to find in Rensselaer. And we have some great systems there because we have built a ground mount that actually powers the boys club across the street. And then we have a rooftop system, and we have a carport system. So we have just about every type of install, and they can walk around, look at them, kick the tires, if you will.
Yeah.
So-
You actually just mentioned something that I have interest in.
Sure.
The ground mounts versus the roof. Which
Sure.
one do you think is more efficient?
The ground mounts are always tilted and focused in the exact orientation that we want. Most people don't have the space for a ground mount, but if you do, the ground mounts are going to produce slightly more power. So you'd have let's say, a multiplier of 1.3 versus if you put it on your roof, you might be 1.2. So very small, but an increased production. So
yeah. And do you feel that the durability is longer in lifespan on the roof versus the ground, because maybe people can damage it, or are they really damage proof?
They're really resilient. They're actually rated for a 50-mile-an-hour golf ball size hail. But to be honest with you, in the 8 going on 9 years, we've installed millions of modules, both ground mounts and rooftops. We've had one case of vandalism. It was very, very early on, and it was here in Schenectady at Town TV, one of our customers. And you can see the kids worked on it for most of the day. They had a pile of rocks around that, and they quickly got bored. It looks like they broke one module. They finally figured out it took a cinder block, but that shows you how resilient they are. But most of the kids nowadays, they appreciate this technology, and they embrace it more than we do. So we've had
I think they
very,
probably
very
see
little.
their future
Yes.
in solar, which leads me to if you're having millions and millions of solar panels built, are you on solar farms? Is that how that works? How do you start getting the energy stored?
Sure. So you can, as a homeowner, you can put it on your rooftop, or you can put it on one of our solar farms, and you actually own the panels on that farm. And it's very easy to describe, but basically it could be 100 miles away from you, and that power is coming to your house. So for some people, say, oh, I don't like the look. Well, you can put it on the solar farm, and you have what we refer to as like a Netflix fee. A very small amount you pay us for maintenance and mowing the fields and making sure your modules are kept in pristine condition. But those are your modules. If you decide to sell your home, you can sell it with the system, without the system. You can put the system up for sale without the home. So it's your asset. You take all the tax credits, you get all the benefits of it. We just get to take care of it. And, and we have them on fields where they're sharing space with school districts. They're sharing space with municipalities. So these are fields that we have to take care of for the next 20 years. So
yeah, let's talk about where you are located on some of the municipalities with New York State Thruway or schools, churches.
Yeah. So we do both rooftops and community, where we power them from afar. But we're on top of, say, Albany Public Schools, City of Albany, City of Troy, Schenectady. We do Siena College. We have so many campuses, and I apologize to those schools I forgot, but there's so many school districts all the way out to Fort Plain and out to, we have some schools out by Buffalo, and that's where we're really hoping is to spark that next idea, is in the schools. So we're encouraging the science teachers to start encouraging the kids to look outside the box, and that's our next endeavor. So
yeah. I'm so excited to have had you on the show, Steve, to learn a little bit more about Monolith, and I want to thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, just come visit us and see the showroom, and I guarantee you we can replace your energy bill with the solar system. We can keep the cost low, and they're going to feel really good. They're going to get bit by that bug that we talked about in the beginning. So
yeah, fantastic.
But thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to see you again as well.
Too.
Thank you. Thank you for watching Scene TV. I'm Maya McNulty, your host.